Good morning from Ron Joyce Stadium on the gorgeous McMaster University campus, where we are underway for the 16U female gold medal match here at the North American Indigenous Games. It's Team British Columbia versus Team Saskatchewan in this gold medal final. I'm Jackson Jacobs, joined alongside Bethany Clipper. We'll take you through this one. We should be in for a good one here, Bethany. Two teams that have faced off already in the tournament. It was British Columbia that came out on top in that one, 3-1, but both these teams worked extremely hard to get here. British Columbia coming into this one with a 4-0 record on the tournament. Saskatchewan 3-1. Of course, that loss coming to BC earlier on in the week. And what does Saskatchewan need to do here in your point of view to really jump back to the other side here and try to capitalize in British Columbia? How much did they learn in that loss?
Well, because the loss was early on, it gave them a chance to regroup and get together and figure it out for the rest of the tournament, find their groundings, really work as a team. And because all the games are at this field, it gives them a chance to scout the British Columbia team and see what their tactics are and use that to their advantage.
As I mentioned, British Columbia picking up a 3-1 win already over Saskatchewan in this tournament, as we already got a quick break there into the 18-yard box, quickly scooped up by the Saskatchewan defense. Both of these defensive side of the ball on both teams have really shined all tournament long. British Columbia only allowing 1 goal against. Saskatchewan, on the other hand, 4 goals against. British Columbia making it to the gold medal match in all 4 categories of soccer, both 16U male and female and 19U male and female. Last night we saw British Columbia pick up 2 gold medals as both their male teams beat Saskatchewan in both games. So once again, we have a British Columbia and Saskatchewan matchup here this morning, and we'll see if British Columbia can add a 3rd gold medal to their long list of medals already here at the North American Indigenous Games being hosted in Toronto. Soccer, of course, being hosted here in Hamilton, the beautiful facilities and Ron Joyce Stadium here at McMaster University. British Columbia now will regain control. That's Sadie Baird with it. She tries to get it into the box, unable to do so. A poor clearing offense there from Saskatchewan, and now sent into the middle of the box with some time and space, but unable to capitalize on anything there. That was Cheyenne Loca with the chance. And now British Columbia once again, and that'll get called offside. You saw Loca streaking in there on the far wing, but just got caught offside, a few steps ahead of the Saskatchewan defender.
Early on, Saskatchewan's defense looking a little scattered there in the box. They had a couple mishandles with the ball. They just got to keep it simple, clear the ball out to the sides, nothing up the middle. That's usually the danger zone, especially in front of your goalie like that.
We'll see if Saskatchewan will make any major adjustments in this match today. Of course, losing to BC 3-1 earlier on in the week. We'll see what they learned in that match and what they can bring into this one to try to change anything up, as you see them once again clearing the box. It was Taylor Spung, Ariel Schallenberger, as well as Haley McDonald that scored for British Columbia in that 3-1 win over Saskatchewan. There's Schallenberger with it now, number 9 in blue. One of the star players on this British Columbia team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. A very strong midfielder that can really play all areas of the field. This one sent back to the British Columbia netminder. That's Kelly Kosolowski. She's been strong all tournament long. I mentioned earlier on, only allowing 1 goal against. Got to give a lot of credit to the defenders in front of her. However, Kosolowski having a tournament of her own nonetheless. This one played up the wing. Amber Wells with it. She'll get that one towards the goal. A little bit of a bobble, but that's collected by River Chikostas. A good save by her. That's her first real test of the morning. She makes a good stop there on Amber Wells. Wells came streaking down that right side with a little burst of speed, was able to break around the defender. And we'll see if British Columbia can use that to their strength. They've got very quick. They're very quick on the offensive side of the ball, and you saw that go to full display as they broke down the wing.
Yeah, River just looking a little shaky at first. She's got to just stay calm, find her ground, and just relax. The game has just started.
Could have been a whole different story if British Columbia had a few bodies right in tight. As you see a collision there in front of the British Columbia net. That was Kelly Kosolowski that looks like she took a knee. As she'll stay down. She was able to collect the ball, make the save, but she came out pretty hard for it, made contact with a Saskatchewan player.
She looked like she was getting up and then went back down, holding her side. A lot of pain and discomfort there. That's something where you're going in, you want to protect your goalie, and as a forward, you don't want to run full tilt at a goalie if you hit them. And you're never going to hear the end of it. That's something you just got to slow back on.
Well, like I said, that ball, you see where Kosolowski's down, almost right at the mark. She came charging out for that one, and it was one of those awkward moments where that gap closed up quickly between the BC netminder and the Saskatchewan forwards, and a collision happened. Looks like she's fine. She will stay in the game. She pops back up as this one's played up, intended for Tara Suttill. She'll gather it now, and she'll play it over to Schallenberger.
On the bright side, she is a goalie back there. She's got time to recover. She's not always touching the ball and moving on the field.
That's true. You see her back in the BC net now, taking a little bit of a breather. Schallenberger will play that towards midfield. And now played up by British Columbia. You see the speed as they're able to pounce all over the ball. It seems like 2 or 3 players at all times will kind of collapse to wherever the ball is, making it extremely hard for Saskatchewan to really find any time and space with it. As you see a great move there by Tara Suttill. She'll break down the right wing. Great hustle there by Suttill, but also a great defensive play from Saskatchewan. That was Kenya Bugler with it. As Saskatchewan will now look to play it up. That one coughed up to the British Columbia defender of Madison Fowler. She'll look to try to regain control, but she's got Zoe Ickton all over her back. Great pressure there from Ickton and the Saskatchewan forwards. Is a nice touch there from British Columbia. They're able to break down the wing. This one sent out towards midfield. And Schallenberger will collect now. She'll try to fire that one towards goal. Unable to make good contact on that one, and it'll go wide and out of bounds. Another great crowd on hand here this morning. We saw this last night as well between these two teams, traveling a long ways across the country to support their teams here at the North American Indigenous Games. Coming out loud and proud. We got the British Columbia fan club right in front of us here. As Saskatchewan will control. As I mentioned, you see British Columbia really with 2 bodies on the ball at all time, making it really hard for Saskatchewan to get anything solid started. And as I say that, they come breaking down the wing. It's Sarah Gumklak. She gets that pushed out of bounds, and she's unable to make anything happen. She'll play that one in now, but British Columbia will gain control. This one played up the wing, intended for Tara Suttill, but that'll go out of bounds. It'll be Saskatchewan ball.
Both teams running the similar formation, the 4-4-2. It's a classic. It really gets your bearings, and having that solid defensive wall back there of the forward defense flat and the 4 midfielders just helping out. The wings usually running up the sides to help those other forwards up there.
As this one's played up the far wing, and we got a break. Unable to gain control was Cheyenne Loca. She had a great opportunity in front of her, but the ball got crossed up in her feet.
She is just making those Saskatchewan defense look very scrambly and just not think and instantly just kick the ball straight back at her. And she's just applying so much pressure and causing turnovers.
Could have been a great opportunity there for British Columbia, as there was an excellent outlet pass there from Ariel Schallenberger. She's got 2 goals on the tournament already. As you mentioned, both teams playing that 4-4-2 formation, trying to get their feet underneath them here early on. Of course, British Columbia already has a pretty good read on this Saskatchewan team, beating them earlier in the tournament 3-1. We'll see if they try to stick to that same game plan, come out firing, as we've seen them already with a few opportunities early on. For those of you just tuning in, this is the 16U female gold medal match here at the North American Indigenous Games between Team British Columbia and Team Saskatchewan here at Ron Joyce Stadium, as this one's played up into Saskatchewan territory, and here comes British Columbia. This one sent into the box, looking for a little bit of a give and go there. Cheyenne Loca once again trying to get that one back across her teammate in the far side of the box, unable to do so. Maybe an opportunity there for Loca to turn and fire that one towards the goal.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a little one too many touches. Maybe just wasn't thinking and just instantly passed it right away. I thought she was going to be open, but when you're in that close, might as well take that shot. You never know what's going to go in.
Well, she had Taylor Spung there on the far side of the box. One of the smaller but definitely more agile forwards for this British Columbia team. And like you said, maybe one too many touches. As this one's sent out of bounds in the far corner, it will be British Columbia ball. Aubrey Sparvier will throw this one in.
As we have Saskatchewan's first sub of the game. Looks like Pilar Coos is checking in on that back defensive line.
Possibly a decision there made there by the head coach just to get some fresh legs on here early, keep your team fresh.
Especially with all their defense. Having those cracks so early, seeing in this game, might as well switch it up.
A big impact there. You saw Haley Goomklak go down hard off some contact. We'll see if anything comes of it. She pops up. She's okay.
Good opportunity for Saskatchewan here. Fairly close to the net.
Will be Kenya Joseph who will take this free kick. She's goalless in this tournament so far. You know she wants to add her name to the list. She fires that one towards the goal. Great header there in front of the net from the British Columbia defense, and that'll allow this one to get cleared all the way downfield. And we got a long chase here. The Saskatchewan defenders going back for it. And that one will be blown down.
This British Columbia team just has so much speed up front. They just use it to their full advantage.
You saw the pressure get put onto the Saskatchewan defenders there. As I mentioned, forwards on this British Columbia team extremely quick. They also are very good with their feet, some great footwork. They can be really good in tight and when they have a lot of space to run, as you just saw. Saskatchewan able to control, but here comes Schallenberger once again. She's been all over the field early on, as she'll dish this one off to Taya Suttill. And that'll go out of bounds. It will remain British Columbia ball as Suttill will throw in. A little bit of a give and go move there with Amber Wells.
British Columbia team, they're trying to work those corners. They're trying to work those give and go plays down the line. They try to catch someone off guard and send the ball long so someone can get that open run down the line and send it in.
You can hear the British Columbia chants here right in front of us. As I mentioned, great crowd on hand here for this gold medal match. Still scoreless here at Ron Joyce Stadium. We'll see who can break that first as Schallenberger plays this one up into the box. That one fired towards net, and it'll land on the feet of Suttill. She's unable to control. That was Cheyenne Loca with that first chance from just outside the box, just outside 20 yards. But she was unable to make good contact with that, and this one will go out of bounds off the foot of Schallenberger, and it will be Saskatchewan ball just short of midfield.
Saskatchewan sub. Bluebell checking out. And it looks like Kayla Gardner's in.
So Saskatchewan
top.
already with a few subs here early on, as that will be a foul on the throw-in. It will turn over now. It will be British Columbia ball. As I was saying, Saskatchewan already with a few subs here early on. British Columbia, on the other hand, they have yet to make a sub in this game. We'll see how that turns out as we get later on into this one, whether or not Saskatchewan stays a little more fresh than British Columbia. As you see here, another opportunity from the far corner was Amber Wells. She was unable to make any solid contact with that. As you see, Cheyenne Loca had a few words with her, trying to figure something out. Expected Wells to maybe try to find her in the middle of the box there. She was unable to do so. A little miscommunication there with the British Columbia forwards. Saskatchewan with an opportunity now, right in the middle of the box, but once again cleared by the British Columbia defense. One thing British Columbia very good at are their midfielders. I already talked about it. The likes of Schallenberger in the midfield, as well as Sadie Baird, two midfielders that really like to help out on defense. As you see right there, Amber Wells goes down hard. But as I was saying, the British Columbia midfield is very good at helping out in the defensive side of the field, and it's really paid dividends to get them here at this stage of the tournament.
It's really important to have a really strong core middle because middle of the field controls pretty much most of the game. They're the ones who are switching the balls, they're controlling where the play's going, they're getting up in the offensive play as well as the defensive play.
Free kick here for British Columbia. This one will get sent right towards the goal. Took a bounce, but unfortunately in the wrong direction for British Columbia, as Saskatchewan will now gain control. As we now have a Saskatchewan player down here in the near corner. That's Kenya Joseph. Strong defender for Saskatchewan. She goes down holding her left leg.
Looks like she got a little Charlie horse there, and those never feel great.
Well, and one issue that's been a factor here all week long at Ron Joyce Stadium has been the heat all week. Fortunately for these players today, the coolest day of the week at the most important time for these medal rounds of the tournament. But they've been fighting through the heat all week long, definitely taking a number on all these athletes' bodies, as we've seen humidity making it feel close to 40, 45 degrees all week long.
Playing on
turf. We even
turf.
saw heat warnings earlier on in the week where the officials decided to take a full-on 2-hour delay of the tournament. Everything was paused. The players were allowed to go back to the change rooms for 2 hours as all play stopped. A lot of these teams coming from areas of the country or even through the United States where you just don't see the same humidity, the same heat levels we do in southwestern Ontario. But like I said, fortunately today, a little bit overcast here in Hamilton, and the heat not even close to where it has been all week. As you see Kenya Joseph getting carried off the field, she is in quite a bit of pain.
Should be interesting to see if she returns.
We'll keep a close eye on that as she gets carried off the field, unable to do so under her own power, so clearly in a lot of pain is Kenya Joseph. And it was Haley Gumelkak that'll come in for her replacement, number 14 in white. You see her with the ball now. She will throw in from the sideline. This one played up by Saskatchewan, intended for Zoe Ickton. She was unable to win the race to that one. And actually a great deflection there from Aubrey Svare. She was able to play that one off her shoulder. Tried not to play it with her hands. You saw her throw the hands behind her back as we got an opportunity for Saskatchewan, but offside is called. That looked like a pretty tight call there, but nonetheless the officials calling that one offside. Tashandra Machance had a great chance, but she gets caught offside. You see her upset with that call by the officials. As Taylor Spung will try to make something happen in the far corner. She'll break out towards the middle. Try to find a fellow teammate in the middle of the box. And this one now fired on goal. Not very solid contact there from Sadie Baird, but a shot nonetheless. Making River Chikasis fight for that one. She was able to gather.
This British Columbia team is really likes to use those little passes within the box. I'm not sure how often they work, but when you're in a situation like that, I would say just cross it. See if you can find someone in front of the net.
Fired just wide. Yeah, as you said, British Columbia very good at penetrating this Saskatchewan defense. They're able to get into the box, but as you mentioned, maybe one too many passes, looking for the perfect opportunity instead of firing one on goal and trying to surprise River Chikasis, giving her plenty of time to set up with all the passes being made. As this one now sent out, but stopped by Schallenberger. She'll play that one up to Suttill. And Suttill will lose that one. And that'll go out of bounds. It'll turn over to Saskatchewan.
You can just see the British Columbia forwards just have so much more speed. They've been beating the Saskatchewan defense all through the outsides and even in the middle. So that's one thing the Saskatchewan defense need to take a look at and just play that extra gap, make it a little bit longer so they can make up that lost space because of their speed.
Great play there by Amber Wells to stop that goal kick with her chest. Then was able to break it in. A strong kick there. Just over the net. That was off the boot of Taylor Spung. A great kick from just over 25 yards out. That one finds the goal. That was likely to go in. Such a strong kick from her, but that goes just over the net. And once again, Saskatchewan unable to get this too far downfield, and British Columbia will take over. It's Amber Wells with it. She'll throw it out in center. It'll find Schallenberger. Once again, you see the quick passes being made. That was Cheyenne Loca, number 13 in blue, who took the original pass from Wells and then tried to find Schallenberger at the top of the box.
Looks like Schallenberger just wasn't ready for that. She just kind of swung her foot. Wasn't exactly ready for the shot.
Look for the connections between Amber Wells and Cheyenne Loca in the box. We've seen them go to work already several times today. Loca setting up more towards midfield. The middle of the box, I should say. Well, Wells plays that right wing area of the field, and she seems to be able to find Loca when she needs to. As this one sent on goal, soared through the box over everyone's head, but a great stop there by Chikasis, and now she'll play it up, intended for Sarah Grumklak. Suttill with it now. Quick little juke play from her, and she'll look to play it all the way across field, and she does just that. A break for British Columbia, and unable to connect with it was Taylor Spung on that far wing. That is the second opportunity that Spung has had coming down that far left wing, and she's just gotten it crossed up in her feet. Maybe some nerves getting too early on in this one.
Yeah, what a beautiful pass and play that was sent over to her. And If
And
she
a
just
great
took,
cross there, actually, off that corner kick. Went
Yeah.
right through the box. But as we were talking about, 2 gorgeous opportunities already for her, where she almost had a break all alone, but just unable to take full control of the pass that was given to her, and it got crossed up in her feet both times.
when in doubt, just keep it simple. Take that shot. Again, I'm going to say it. She took one too many touches.
Wells with it now. She'll play it in, looking for Suttill. You saw once again Loka trying to find Schallenberger. Schallenberger just not expecting that one. Playing too high. "25 minutes into this gold medal match between British Columbia and Saskatchewan. So far, it's all BC. Still notched up at zeros, but British Columbia has really been all over this Saskatchewan defense so far. Schallenberger with it now for British Columbia. She'll play it up, looking for Suttill. Suttill down that right wing. She's got Amber Wells with her. Let's see if she'll play it back to her. She doesn't. She fires that one towards the goal. Cheyenne Loka was there, but River Jacostas, the goalkeeper for Saskatchewan, was able to smother that one. She's been a real backbone so far for Saskatchewan. Obviously hoping that her team can get something started. Get that ball away from her. Jacostas been tested a lot here early on.
She's been saving her defense so far in this game. She's really got to rally them together and say, hey, take those shots away from me. They shouldn't be getting through.
That one sent out of play by Aubrey Sparvier. And it will be Saskatchewan ball. just over 27 minutes into this gold medal match. Once again, out of bounds remains Saskatchewan ball. It'll be interesting to see the officials' decision here, whether or not we are playing 30 minutes or 45. We've seen 30 minutes be played yesterday in the heat, and it will be 30 minutes once again here today. 2 30-minute halves rather than 45. That's just due to the heat that we've seen here in Hamilton. And because of the games that have gone to 30, the officials sticking to that decision here today. They probably could go 45 with the heat being down a little bit today from what it's been all week, but making the smarter decision. These players have been worn out all week in the high humidity here in Hamilton. So 30-minute halves it will be. We're just over 28 minutes into the first half of this one, still notched up. Mill.
And so far we've shied off from the rain. It was calling for rain all this morning, but looks like just
So
cloudy
far,
skies.
so good. Following this one, it will be the 19U female gold medal match. So that'll see Eastern Door in the north go up against British Columbia, as we've got a chance here for Suttill. She breaks in and she'll score. Tara Suttill finds the top left corner. She was left with time and space and made no mistake of it. Taya Suttill absolutely buries it.
That was a perfect example of just taking that one touch and then getting your shot away right there. It's just important that you just try to get the balls on net. Doesn't matter how they go in. Just take that shot. And she found her way, and now this will give the British Columbia team a lot more momentum for the rest of the game.
Really made no mistake of it. She read Jacostas perfectly. Jacostas came out to play the ball, and Suttill just went up over the right shoulder of Jacostas, finding that far left top corner. As Suttill had all the time and space that she could possibly need to make that happen. This is Suttill with it once again. She'll play it up for Wells. Try to go back to Suttill. Great play by her to keep it in, and now Amber Wells will come down the right wing. She'll play it into the corner and try to center that one. That'll be Emily Desnami that'll clear the box for Saskatchewan. We're just over 30 minutes here.
Taya Suttill has been such a big offensive factor for this British Columbia team, already knotting up 2 goals so far on this tournament. So adding another to that, she's just had a great tournament so far herself.
We'll see how much extra time is added onto this 30-minute half. Is another great opportunity there in tight for British Columbia. Chikostas with another save. Some big adjustments, I'm sure, to be made here to the Saskatchewan team heading into the second half, as this has been all British Columbia. Free kick here now for British Columbia. Taylor Ackerman, that'll take it. We'll see what she tries to do here. She'll send that one straight towards the goal, unable to make anything happen, but it will be British Columbia once again, fired just wide by Taylor Spung. Another opportunity for Spung on that far side. She's had several here this morning already. You know she's feeling it. Unable to find the goal here so far. Saskatchewan ball. This one played up into the box for Wells. Wells dances around with it. Great moves by her. She'll fire that one on net. An easy save for Chikostas. Really been all British Columbia in this one. And that'll do it for the first half. British Columbia 1. Saskatchewan nothing. It was a goal from Taya Suttill in the 29th minute, as she buried in the top left corner over the shoulder of River Chikostas. That gives BC the 1-0 lead, and it's really been all British Columbia early on in this one.
Yeah, this Saskatchewan team right now is looking a little deflated, a little defeated. Any of the kicks, it's been British Columbia always getting first to the ball, showing that they want to be here and that they're outworking them right now so far in this first half.
As I mentioned, we'll see what adjustments are made here to the Saskatchewan side of things. And British Columbia, what they decide to do here, they really have been playing a flawless game, a near perfect system all over the field, whether it's on the defensive side of the ball, really giving up no solid opportunities so far to Saskatchewan. But we'll be really interested to see what Saskatchewan can do. We did see one of their best defenders in Kenya Joseph go off, and Joseph does play that left side, and that's exactly where Suttill scored the goal from. Who knows what could have happened if Kenya Joseph was in the match, but she is out. She went down. Looks like she was holding that left leg, as I mentioned. Usually plays that left side of defense, and that's exactly where Taya Suttill was able to find time and space. She broke in and absolutely buried it in the top left corner. It's 1-0 British Columbia. Yeah, we'll see exactly what they can do here moving forward into the second half. The Saskatchewan bench looking pretty defeated right now. For those of you just tuning in, we are at the end of the first half of the 16U female gold medal match. We are at Ron Joy Stadium on the McMaster University campus, British Columbia versus Saskatchewan. So far in this one, the storyline has been all BC. They have dominated early on. Taya Suttill with the lone goal for British Columbia. A gorgeous strike from her just from the top right of the box. And like I said, we'll see what Saskatchewan can do. These two teams did face off earlier in the week. British Columbia picked up the 3-1 win there. It was Tashandra Machance for Saskatchewan that scored the lone goal in that loss. We'll see if she can spark something here against British Columbia to get her team going. And you know, goaltender River Chikasis is probably giving her team an earful down there on the Saskatchewan bench, as she's been tested a lot. And she's done a great job, only allowing one against here so far, as she's faced near 15 shots there in the first half.
Yeah, this British Columbia team has a whole bunch of goal scorers on them. They have had 7 different goal scorers throughout this tournament, while Saskatchewan only has 3.
British Columbia took 4 games to get here. They went 4-0, beating New York 6-0. 3-1 against Saskatchewan, as I previously mentioned, followed by 2-0 win against Manitoba and a 3-0 win against the Northwest Territories. That was in the semifinal. That totals for 13 goals for, only 1 goal against. And a cool storyline here that we've been following. British Columbia and their soccer program, all 4 teams, both 2 male and 2 female teams, in total have only allowed 2 goals against all tournament long. Both female teams have allowed 1 goal each, while the male teams did not allow a goal all tournament long. That's only 2 goals against for 4 British Columbia teams all tournament long.
Yeah, and British Columbia will be looking for that quadruple gold today, as the men.
They do have a chance for 2 more.
Yeah.
Here this morning, as we mentioned earlier, both men teams picking up the gold medals yesterday. Both of those games were against Saskatchewan, actually, so we'll see if British Columbia can pick up and go 3-0 against Saskatchewan in the final. After this one, it will be the 19U female gold medal match that will also see British Columbia face off against Eastern Door in the north. The only gold medal match that Saskatchewan did not make it to. But definitely an interesting little storyline there, and shows just how important the defensive side of the ball is to British Columbia and their soccer program.
Yeah, they just got a solid wall back there. Out of all 4 of their men's and women's teams, they have had an impressive showing so far throughout these North American Indigenous Games.
Well, and one thing I've really stuck out in my opinion is they look like they've all been here before. Even these 16U teams, they look like they've done this before. They look like they've been in a gold medal situation already and playing with so much composure and so calm all over the field, and you really see that play to their abilities. Saskatchewan, on the other hand, looking a little cluttered there in the first half, trying to get their feet under them and really trying to slow down British Columbia. They've been all over them on the offensive side of the ball. But we saw that last night as well with British Columbia and their male teams looking so composed all over the pitch, and we'll see if Saskatchewan can figure something out here moving into the second half.
Yeah, Saskatchewan right now, the coach is just probably telling them it's only 1-0. Just relax. You can find your bearings. And just, they know the players to shut down. They just need to focus on that and worry about taking all those shots away. River's been doing a great job back there for them, but can't always rely on your goalie to save everything. So you just got to help her out back there. And
yeah, as I mentioned, Chikasis will be giving her teammates an earful over there. She has had very minimal help, but it's so hard to slow down this British Columbia offense. We've seen the likes of Amber Wells, Taya Suttill, Ariel Schallenberger, just to name a few, and Cheyenne Loca in the middle of the box. She's been very busy as well, and all these players really provide for 4 or 5, sometimes 6 scoring threats all across the pitch, and they can really move the ball around very well. We see them making very quick passes in tight, sometimes almost one too many quick passes. This game could be broken open a lot more than it currently is if they capitalize on some more opportunities. We even saw Taylor Spung come in several times down that left wing, 3 times to be exact, where she had time and space and just got crossed up in her own feet, unable to capitalize.
maybe now after that goal, Taya Suttill She just took that shot and it just went in like that. Maybe they'll realize not to take those extra touches and go for the shot and see what happens. You never know what's going to go in. Couple more minutes till second half will be underway, and what a big second half this is.
Everything on the line here in the next 30 minutes. British Columbia will look to close this one out, maybe add another tally. If not, look for them to play the defensive side of the ball that they are just so excellent at doing, only allowing 1 goal so far in this tournament, and that was against Saskatchewan, actually. Back in that 3-1 win that they picked up, that was their second game of the tournament. Both teams' second game of the tournament, to be exact. So Saskatchewan knows they can score against BC. They did it in that match. They just need to tighten up on defense and maybe make something happen on the offensive side of the ball, as we see the officials coming back out to the pitch now, as the teams will get called back out shortly, and we'll quickly see any adjustments that Saskatchewan will be making.
Yeah, that's what Saskatchewan know. They got to just keep telling their players, like, look, we've scored against them before. We can do it again. Nothing's impossible. Keep your heads up. We got 30 minutes to go. Just give it all you got.
Leave everything on the pitch, as one might say.
Exactly.
And now, as a former soccer player yourself, a current soccer player yourself, in this kind of situation with so much on the line, if you're on Saskatchewan, what's the mindset right now? When do you want to start getting almost playing desperate soccer? And where's the line in playing over aggressive, trying to find that goal, while still trying to play defensive, knowing that BC can attack at any time?
Well, they just got to know they can play their game, and they know they can get a goal by this goalie. So you just really got to rally together, get your confidence up. First of all, you got to shut down your back end, work your way up from there. Starts with defense, moving up to that'll create your great offense. And just
and now
much give it all
on the
you
other
got.
side of the ball, though, British Columbia, you got a 1-0 lead. Now put yourself in those shoes. What's going through the mind of those players with knowing when to take opportunities and when to realize when a risk is too much, too high of a risk, and when not to take that opportunity? Where do you find that balance when you're on the winning side?
Yeah, I would just say keep it simple right now. You don't want to risk anything too soon, but being a striker, you want to get that safety for your goalie and for your defense. So there's something that you can fall back on. So it's just important to just keep everything simple. Don't take any risks. And just, again, play your game.
Well, and so far it's been all British Columbia. We are underway for the second half of the 16U female gold medal match here at Ron Joy Stadium. For those of you just tuning in to catch the second half, it's 1-0 British Columbia off a goal of Suttill, who scored from the top of the box, a gorgeous strike from her over the left shoulder of Saskatchewan goaltender River Chikasis, and that's what has us here now, as we'll see if Saskatchewan can make anything happen. Streaking down that far side is Sandra Machance. That one goes out of bounds. It will remain Saskatchewan ball. Another factor that British Columbia has working for them right now is goaltender Kelly Kosolowski has not really been tested. You know she's still fresh back there in the British Columbia net. She's yet to really be tested early on in that first half. You see her collect this one. Fairly easy ball for her to gather up. She's only allowed 1 goal against all tournament long.
That's what you got to realize, though. This goalie you haven't got any shots on, so might as well take all those shots and opportunities you get. Test her out. You never know what's going to go in. Couple bobbles, just go hard to the net, pressure her. That's where goalies will have that extra bobble where the rebound could spring up.
British Columbia with it now. That's Wells. She plays it into the corner for Taylor Spung. Spung playing this left side. Few great opportunities in the first half. We'll see if she can make anything happen. Some fancy footwork there. She fires it out towards the top of the box. but unable to connect with Sadie Baird. Will be Saskatchewan ball as that one went out of bounds off of Baird. Another opportunity here for Suttill on that right side. That's exactly where she scored her goal from earlier on in this one. As Wells fires that one towards the goal, that'll go out of bounds. As Chikossis will gather, she'll leave this one for one of her defenders. That's Haley Gumokak back there. She'll take the goal kick. That one kicked out of bounds by Chikossis, trying to play that one a little too quick. You heard her defenders yelling back to her, take your time. No need to rush quite yet, just over 3 minutes into the second half. You can almost feel the frustration coming off of Chikossis back there in the Saskatchewan goal. She's been tested a lot. She's been on her game, though, in this one so far, making several clutch saves, only allowing that lone goal from Taya Suttill.
And that's what you'll see out of these teams when they're up at half and there's still a lot of time left. British Columbia team will take their time doing their throw-ins and those free kicks. They'll take that extra second. While Saskatchewan will try to rush through everything, get things going, get the momentum up quicker, not wasting any time. And we've seen that in previous of these gold medal games yesterday.
British Columbia now. They'll gather it. This one played into that far corner for Suttill. The goal scorer for BC. She's feeling it this morning. She'll try to break in near that far corner, unable to do so. It will be a corner kick for British Columbia. It looks like Suttill will be the one to take it. Why not? She's feeling it early on. Clearly, she's got a boot on her. We saw it go to work as she scored from just near the top right of the box. She'll set up for this corner kick. We'll see what she'll do with it.
You've got someone who's got a consistent and nice kick like that. Might as well use it to your full
And
advantage.
that one goes right into the top right corner. A gorgeous strike from Haley McDonald. Notches her second of the tournament. And it's 2-0 British Columbia. Off of the corner kick from Taya Suttill. That one bounced right out and couldn't have landed in a better place for Haley McDonald.
It looks like it caught River just right off guard. She just was in awe of the shot. And this is Haley McDonald's second goal against Saskatchewan. She's got 2 goals this tournament, and both of them coming against the Saskatchewan team.
It seems like McDonald knows exactly how to play the Saskatchewan team. She was really just standing there near the top of the box. Not sure if she was expecting that to come to her at all, and boom, it landed right on the right foot, and she made no mistake. 2 gorgeous goals from British Columbia already in this one, as she fired that one into the top right corner, once again over the shoulder of River Chikossis, and she's really been hung out to dry so far. Chikossis has. And as you said, I don't think Chikossis was expecting that one any more than McDonald was. Both players just kind of playing their role. It landed right on the foot of McDonald. She buries it. And it's 2-0 British Columbia, just over 6 minutes into this second half.
Highest scoring gold medal game we've seen so far.
Both games yesterday, both male games ending in 1-0 for British Columbia, both of those games.
Looks like Saskatchewan with a sub. Caitlin Cameron going off. And Zoe Ickton coming in that forward position. Maybe generating some offense for this team.
So now put yourself into Saskatchewan's shoes. You have just under 25 minutes. I'm getting crossed up. Thought we were playing 45s there for a second. We are playing 30-minute halves. The second half 30 minutes long. With just under 25 minutes remaining in this second half, you're down by 2 now. Does that change the attitude? Now do you start to get a little more desperate? As we see here, the British Columbia forwards putting on some pressure. And this one will get sent out of bounds. No, it won't. Great play there from British Columbia, as Wells will hold it in and now finally out of bounds. But as I was saying, now does Saskatchewan start to ramp it up? Now do they start to play desperate soccer?
I would definitely say desperate soccer for sure. It's already 2-0. Might as well just give it all you got. Try to get that goal up, and as soon as you get one on the board, it just gives you that momentum. You just get everything going from there. So
we'll see what they could do. So far, nothing really working against British Columbia, who's been so solid all over the pitch. As Wells plays that one in, and it'll come right back to the foot of Wells. She'll try to fire that one on goal, picks up her own rebound, and she'll fan on that one, went awkwardly off the toe and just wide. You can tell Amber Wells having a game here this morning, and she wants to add her name to the list of goal scorers. One of those smaller, more agile forwards for British Columbia. Working very well, these forwards do together. You have Amber Wells, Cheyenne Loca, Taya Suttill on that far side, and of course Taylor Spung on the near side wing. Wells will usually drop back and play more of a midfielder position, but as soon as that ball crosses midfield, it seems like British Columbia almost goes with 4 attackers. We'll see if they keep that up or if they'll start to play more of defensive soccer. So far, so good. No need to change anything. Right now for British Columbia, Saskatchewan will look to get something started.
when you're up 2-0 like this and you've just 2 beautiful goals like that, you really find your groove and your team just starts meshing and working well. Let's see if they can keep this together and not have any breaks within their formation.
This one played back to Ackerman. She'll play that one all the way up. That just went out of bounds. Tried to paint the line with that one. Unable to do so. It will be Saskatchewan ball on the far sideline. Once again, set out of bounds. This time it'll be British Columbia ball. Taylor Ackerman back there to play this one in. Looking to play it forward all the way down the line. Once again, out of bounds off the head of a Saskatchewan player. Great throw in there from Ackerman, and this will go all the way down. Intended for number 13 in blue. That's Cheyenne Loca. She's been busy today, as this is picked up by Sadie Baird. Baird still with it. She'll play it over, looking for Schellenberger. She'll play it up now for Wells. Wells will fire that one towards the goal, and once again, just wide. Amber Wells really trying to get one towards the goal, that time from outside the box, about 25 yards out. Unable to find the net.
Yeah, this British Columbia team's just taking full control over the game right now. They even running all those plays off the throw-in, tried to look for that header flick play to catch that defense off guard and have someone to run onto the ball.
Saskatchewan will now clear, but as you see, those British Columbia defenders almost just as quick as their offensive players as they win the race back easily. But sent out of bounds by goaltender Kelly Kosolowski. Kosolowski has not been tested very much at all in this one, at least with any solid opportunities. A few balls coming in to the 6-yard box that she's had to pick up here and there, but nothing of very high quality to say the least.
Yeah, Saskatchewan really hasn't tested her, so they might as well just keep trying to get any shot on net. She hasn't really been working her hands a lot, so really just try to get a boot towards the net. And you never know what can come.
Wells trying to win that battle to the ball against Kenya Bugler for Saskatchewan. Bugler wins that race and gets it out of bounds. And that will be a throw in for British Columbia just past midfield. Saskatchewan able to get it up and unable to find anyone, as you see all their forwards well behind the play. Be interested to see at what point do they try to switch it up here and possibly go with more of a 3-defender look, move a body up into the midfield to try to get something generated. As you see, still really only playing with 2 forwards high and unable to win any battles with only 1 or 2 bodies, as that one goes out of bounds.
British Columbia just has the speed all over the field, even the defenders outrunning the Saskatchewan forwards. They've just been a factor that they've taken full advantage of so far in this game.
But as I mentioned, at what point does Saskatchewan need to start making some aggressive adjustments and maybe taking a player out of the backfield, moving them up into the midfield or even into an offensive position here, as you've really seen nothing being able to get generated from Saskatchewan? At what point does that get made? We're almost halfway through the second half. You're down by 2. Not only are you down by 2, but you really haven't been able to generate anything on the offensive side of the ball. It's one thing if you've had your opportunities here and there and a few bad bounces have gotten the best of you, but so far nothing being generated. When does a heavy adjustment need to be made?
I would say anywhere between now and 5 minutes or so. If nothing's been working, might as well switch it up. Get some fresh legs on the field. See what you can do. Just anything really at this point.
We see a corner kick now for British Columbia from the near corner. This one sent out in front. The last goal from British Columbia came off a corner. Another opportunity there. That time it was Wells in front. Took a while there for Saskatchewan to gather that ball. Wells now with it. She'll fire that one towards the goal. That one goes just wide. There's a Saskatchewan player down. Not sure what happened on that one. I believe a few players went up for that corner kick as it came in towards the far post. And a collision happened there, as we'll try to see the number of the player who's down on that far side of the pitch.
I want to say it's Jasmine Sask-Moots.
We'll try to take a look at the number. She's still down, but now making her way up.
Corner kicks like that, they get a little scrambly. Everyone's going for the same ball that's coming in. You just got to be aware of your surroundings and have a look as to...
It looks like it's Kayla Gardner, number 13 in white.
Oh, you are right.
As she'll walk off. She is walking off under her own power. A little bit of support there from the medics, but it looks like she will be okay. We'll see if she shakes it off and is able to get back into this one. But for right now, we'll see who checks in her replacement on that far sideline.
Saskatchewan's second player down. They're
Looks
losing
like
bodies.
Taryn Ahenaku will check in, and 2 defenders, 2 starting defenders that they have now lost out of this one. Kenya Joseph went off in the first half. We have yet to see her back on the pitch, not even on the bench. She went down holding her left leg. And now Kayla Gardner, another defender, goes off. As another opportunity for British Columbia. That one off the hands and into the goal. It's 3-0 for British Columbia. And that was Taylor Spung finally adds her name to the list of goal scorers in this one. That's her 4th of the tournament. She had 1 in the semifinal and now 1 here. Taylor Spung coming up clutch when it counts. As I mentioned, 1 in the semi, 1 in the final. as that one just went right off the hands of Chikasis. It looks like, I thought she was going to make that save pretty easily. It went off her hands, up and over.
Sometimes you're just thinking when the ball's coming in, you're just thinking of the play afterwards, and you're not focusing in on the ball that's coming at you. And must have just been a hard shot for her to bobble it like that, and just must have misread the play at hand.
Maybe not expecting it to come up high so quick, as Spung was kind of in tight, just inside 20 yards, and maybe Chikasa's not expecting that one to get elevated as quickly as it did, and maybe expecting to take that one a little bit lower. Instead, it was just above her head. She tried to catch it with her hands. Instead, it deflected right up and over. And that gives British Columbia a 3-0 lead now. As now we see Saskatchewan making some pretty strong adjustments. 6 players playing up front right now. We'll see how many drop back into that midfielder position. Still 4 defenders back. You got to be careful with this British Columbia offense, as 3 of them have scored in this one. Amber Wells looking to add her name to that. She has had a game. So has Ariel Schallenberger. You know she's going to want to add her name to that list.
Taylor Spong was also one of those ones who contributed to that 3-1 win over Saskatchewan early in the tournament.
You're right. 2 players that scored against Saskatchewan have also scored here in the second match against Saskatchewan. So clearly they figured something out in game 1 earlier on in the week and making it work here once again.
Looks like another Saskatchewan player down. Looks like Emily Desnomi. Looks like she went a little knee-on-knee with one of those British Columbia players, and those never exactly end well. She looks like she's in a lot of pain, and medics are out there looking at her now.
Rough game here so far for the Saskatchewan players. A 3rd player now to go down. You see the Saskatchewan bench on that far sideline getting a little empty.
Yeah, not many players left on that bench.
This time it's Emily Desnami. She'll head off. Also, looks like she's in pain with, looks like the right leg this time. So we saw Kenya Joseph also go off with a left leg injury. And of course, just before this, Kayla Gardner went off.
Saskatchewan's losing a lot of their key players on the back end. She was another defender for this team.
So 3 out of the 4 starting defenders for Saskatchewan have all gone down, forcing some players who were either not expecting to come into this one to come in and play a role. As right there on the far sideline, you actually see Kenya Joseph. She is back in this game, and maybe not at 100%, but when several players go down, someone's got to step up, and it looks like Kenya Joseph is at least good enough to come back into this one, and you know she's going to want to help her teammates salvage something out of this match. She went down hard earlier with a left leg injury, went into the dressing room, came back out to the bench, and now she's back into this one after 2 more defenders have gone down and are out of the match.
Saskatchewan's back end just been rotating right around. They're trying to figure out everything there, and it looks like they're getting a little beat up from this British Columbia team. Nothing intentional, just some unfortunate injuries there.
British Columbia with it now.
This will allow for some extra injury time at the end of the half here.
This one played all the way to the far wing. It's Taya Suttill with it. She'll cross it in for Wells. Wells will try to get that one on net. Wells trying with several opportunities now, trying to get shots toward the goal. With a 3-0 lead, you can afford to try to add your name to the list of goal scorers. Wells wants to score in this gold medal match. Just like her fellow teammates, Taya Suttill Taylor Spung and Haley McDonald have done here today, all in gorgeous fashion. This one sent in a great header there from Wells. A shorter player, a player you don't expect to get a header on a corner kick like that because of her height, but able to get up for that one and just missed wide. A great corner kick once again by Taya Suttill. We've seen her several times. Not only has she scored here today, but the goal from Haley McDonald came off a corner kick from Taya Suttill. This one sent all the way down to Chickasaw. She'll gather. Tough morning here for River Chickasaw. She had a great first half, but really had no support in front of her.
This Saskatchewan team just needs to hold on for the next 7 or so minutes. We'll see with extra time, but just try to keep more defensive play. Maybe try to earn some opportunities up front, but try to keep the score to a minimum. Unless they can pull off a miraculous 4-goal in the next 7 or so minutes, as I said.
As the crowd in front of us chanting three-peat BC, as if BC is able to close this one, they will become the third British Columbia soccer team to pick up a gold medal here at the 2017 North American Indigenous Games. As we talked about earlier, yesterday both male teams picking up gold medals with 1-0 wins over Saskatchewan. This time BC looking to go 3-0 if they don't add another one. Very strong outing from British Columbia at these games. As you see, a quick break here for British Columbia once again. That was Cheyenne Loca breaking in, but Chickasaw comes out to play that one. Spectacular tournament all around here from Team British Columbia, and specifically their soccer programs. As some light rain starts to come down here at Ron Joy Stadium. Fortunately, we have not seen any rain yet through this one. We were supposed to see rain all morning long. The first half of this one was completely dry. Playing 30-minute halves, as that might be the first real test of Kostelowski's day. She makes a great save. She went down on her knees for that one, was able to smother it.
You just want to play every save safe, like getting your body behind the ball. Don't want to risk anything.
I'm sure she's almost glad to get tested.
Yeah.
Back there right now. She's been pretty quiet back there in the goal for British Columbia. A good thing in a gold medal match. As here we see another opportunity for BC. It's Loca. She'll play it over for Wells. Wells will step in. She'll get that on goal. And finally, Amber Wells buries it. Several opportunities here in the second half. It's 4-0 British Columbia. Amber Wells makes no mistake. A great play from Cheyenne Loca to find her in the box.
Just what a shot there and a touch. She took that cut back. That's where you can take that extra play right there. She didn't have anybody on her. Took a cut back and just followed through with that amazing shot.
Well, we've seen Amber Wells try several times here today as some substitutions made here for British Columbia. Looks like Cheyenne Loca went out of the game. Not sure who the other player was. We'll try to figure that one out. She put on the yellow jersey before we could see the number, so she's out of the match. Loca, after that great play to be able to find Amber Wells in the center of the box, she'll check out of this one. And in replace for her, in will come Mackenzie Hall. British Columbia with a 4-0 lead, trying to get as many players a taste of a gold medal match as they possibly can. Some players that haven't played much all tournament long. Some of the younger girls on this team now checking in getting a chance to play in a gold medal match, as here another substitution is made. And this time it's Diamond Gutierrez that'll come on to the pitch, one of the young forwards for this British Columbia team. And these players still have a chance in 3 more years to come back and play once again for the 19U team. Of course, in years prior, that used to be 18U, so anyone that played in the 16U tournament was too old when they moved up, as this tournament happens every 3 years. But now with that change to 19U, players from this 16U tournament able to move up, play once again in 3 more years. So not only these girls on British Columbia with another chance, but Saskatchewan will have another chance at redemption as well.
As we see British Columbia making more subs, checking in all those other players who maybe didn't get all the playing time throughout this tournament. It's important to get them in now, and what better off it that you can get them in a gold medal game like this. Well, what a big opportunity for them.
In 2014, this tournament was held in Regina, Saskatchewan, and it was Team Ontario that picked up gold in the U16 female tournament. British Columbia, they finished second. They won the silver medal, so you know they came to this tournament wanting to step that up by 1 spot, and that is exactly what they have done this morning. A dominant performance from British Columbia, 4-0 here as the time winds down. We are playing 30-minute halves here at Ron Joy Stadium rather than the regular 45s, as another Saskatchewan player goes down. This time it looks like Jasmine Saskamoose back there.
She's up and walking, so.
She's up. She wants to stay in this one, finish it out with her teammates. You can tell a little bit dejected is the Saskatchewan team. They had a great chance to come in here and win the gold medal, but British Columbia, an unbelievable performance all over the pitch. Really dominating on the offensive side of the ball, not allowing Saskatchewan to set anything up all day long. As this one's sent in, it's Mackenzie Hall with it. Recently checked into the match. Not much playing time all tournament long. Trying to make the most out of this one. She'll fire that one on goal. A great opportunity for Mackenzie Hall, making the most of her short time in this game, but a great save by River Chikasis. Mackenzie Hall stepping up there and saying, I can do it too. With a great opportunity, she sent that one towards the goal. As we reach the 30-minute mark, we'll see how much extra time is added on. But nonetheless, it's looking like British Columbia is going to close this one out and pick up their 3rd gold medal in soccer here at the 2017 North American Indigenous Games.
At this point, they're just waiting for that clock to tick down and the ref to blow the whistle, and there it is.
That'll do it. Team British Columbia, your U16 female gold medalist at the 2017 North American Indigenous Games. A dominant 4-0 performance over Team Saskatchewan here at Ron Joy Stadium. It was Amber Wells, Taya Suttill, Taylor Spung, and Haley McDonald that picked up the 4 goals in this one. An absolute stellar performance from this British Columbia squad. You see them there.
All just gathered around Mackenzie Hall. It looked like she had a moment there. This just means so much to these girls, traveling so far and winning that gold medal. They definitely earned it.
They earned it nonetheless, going 5-0 on the tournament, only allowing 1 goal against in 5 games. A really impressive tournament for this British Columbia squad.
So far, we have British Columbia soccer teams undefeated and 1 more game to go, and we're looking for that 4-peat BC gold in soccer here.
in just about 45 minutes time, it will be the U19 female final, and that'll see British Columbia face off against Eastern Door in the north. Set for a very good match at that one. We hope you join us for that as well. But for right now, that is Team British Columbia picking up the gold medal over Saskatchewan. Really, the story of this one was that British Columbia offense all game long. You have to give it to the likes of Amber Wells, Taya Suttill, Taylor Spung, 3 goal scorers up front, but also Ariel Schallenberger, another absolutely outstanding game for her in the midfield. Several great chances, as well as Cheyenne Loca, 4 goals on the tournament, 2 in the semifinal. None here today, but she did set up the goal from Amber Wells. And then, of course, Haley McDonald adding her name to the list of goal scorers. And back on that defensive line, Taylor Ackerman had a great game. Aubrey Sparvier had a great game. Madison Fowler with an outstanding game. Really all over the pitch. This British Columbia team dominated. For Saskatchewan, you got to give it to River Chikossis. She was tested so much here today. 4 goals against, but that can't all be put on her. She was left hung out to dry on several opportunities and really made some great saves when she needed to, when she could. That will do it for now here at Ron Joy Stadium for the 16U female gold medal match. It was Team British Columbia picking up a 4-0 win over Team Saskatchewan. You see them heading off the pitch now. An outstanding performance from British Columbia. That'll do it for us. I'm Jackson Jacobs for Bethany Clipper, everyone behind the scenes and in between. Thank you so much for tuning into this one. We hope you enjoyed it just as much as we did bringing it to you. Please tune in just about 40 minutes time for the U19 women's final, BC versus Eastern Door in the north. Thank you once again. BC 4-0. They are your 16U female gold medalists.